All right. Hello. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Dano Crypto. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple, effective, and easy moves into cryptocurrency ecosystems. So we have extreme fears at levels we have not seen in years. Okay, guys? And Binance just loaded $1 billion into Bitcoin. Stan chart warns 50K Bitcoin possibly, but history says rebounds follow capitulation. So no matter where you think the bottom is for Bitcoin, we are, I think, going to be off to the races very soon, because I think people don't have unlimited things to sell. Eventually, I think the bottom is going to be created here. Maybe that was it, but we just don't know just yet. But I think we have this feeling we're about to just catapult into a new era, new money system. And we have some articles, we have some news to share that is going to give some examples of that. We're going to show you the trades. We're going to show you where Bitcoin is right now. We're going to show you what the alts are doing. We're going to show you a little bit of the memes. We're going to dive a little bit into the trench, and I hope you guys are sticking with us. And we got some other news. Hype still pumping while most are bleeding. So the Hype token, Hyperliquid, maybe some action there, some resilience. We want to see what is holding up strength while Bitcoin was going down. And so I want to know who's buying the dip with me and who is still trading and staying in the game. So let me know who you are in the chat. Make sure you guys are tuning in on a daily basis. We go live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to be a part of the Dojo crew, then check out the links in the description and you get access to the Discord and the Telegram. And we're posting in there daily all of our signals, our calls, what we think is going to be happening with the markets, and some funny stuff as well. So make sure you guys are tuning in. All right, let's get the show started. Okay, so we are in extreme fear. So the recent fear and greed index as of the past couple days has just been insane. I mean, we have been at the lowest we've ever been in years, since 2020, since COVID, when they locked down the world. So it's pretty crazy. So we are, and also in the fear and greed index in the stock market, it's also not looking too good as well. But yeah, for crypto, it's really bad. I mean, it's just extreme fear. So latest headlines is Binance finalizes a 1 billion Seifu reserve conversion. And so even with Binance buying, quote, the dip, we still have these prices right now. And then we had Standard Chartered downgrades hard, sees BTC sliding to 50K. But all at the same time, we have things happening like this, where Thailand just opened the door for Bitcoin in its regulated derivatives market. So the Thai cabinet approves changes to the country's Derivatives Act that allow digital assets like Bitcoin to be used as the underlying assets for futures and options contract. Guys, do you remember me talking about this a couple months ago? It was probably last year. I remember exactly what time we said, look, pretty soon our stock market and the Texas Stock Exchange and all of our markets are going to be trading with Bitcoin as the underlying asset of collateral. So instead of it being USD, we're going to have Bitcoin pairs for Tesla on the stock market. And so this is where the Bitcoin money market and liquidity comes in. When we get the Clarity Act passed and we get all of this passed, all of this legislation that's full on crypto regulation, that's what it's going to be going into. And you think, what is Jack Mallers doing with Cantor Fitzgerald or in the Howard Lutnick, and also with Tether? They've created a Bitcoin collateral company acquiring Bitcoin. They are holding top 10, some of the most Bitcoin out of everyone right now. Because if you were to go to Bitcoin treasuries and you look at the treasuries and who's actually holding the most Bitcoin, second to Strategy is 21. So they are front running the money market for it being denominated in Bitcoin. So then this is where it's going to start getting pretty crazy. So it's getting kind of wild, guys. So Cash doesn't ask for permission. Okay, now think about this point. Cash doesn't ask for permission. It doesn't ask what Cash itself doesn't ask what you are going to do with it. It's just a means of energy of what you're going to do. You can do good things with it, bad things. You can do nothing with it. You can burn it. I don't care. Cash doesn't ask for permission of what you're going to do. Bitcoin is the same way. So anyone trying to FUD, anyone taking use of Bitcoin, they are wrong. And Crypto made a good point in his video, and I've kind of thought the same thing. It's like Bitcoin's use, this is where everyone has an opportunity to be able to use Bitcoin. And when you start to understand that that is actually the new money system and will be the money in a sense, this is where $1 million per Bitcoin doesn't seem so crazy. And are you willing to wait 10 years, however long it might take for it to get there? Well, think about the people that bought Bitcoin early on and then were willing to wait the 10 years. I think their cost average is pretty good. If you got Bitcoin under $1,000 and now one Bitcoin has fluctuated all the way up to about 126,000 and now sitting at an average price of $66,520, my friends. So welcome to the volatility. It's not going to go away, but we like the volatility. We want this thing to be volatile because if we're getting into this new money system, we can front run the entire human race in getting supply of Bitcoin and also Pepe and Doge and all these things that eventually people are going to catch on to again, which we'll explain. Get ready, guys, because this is where DCAing counts. Like this, when people are so fearful right now, in extreme fear, you need to be greedy. This is when we need to be greedy. And when we get back into extreme greed, or we start to get back to greed and neutral, you know it's go time to start shaving off those profits, because that's what happens. We have to inverse our emotion here and get really bullish right here and get super bearish right here. And you have to go through a cycle or two, 3 cycles to figure it out. It gets a little crazy. All right, so this is interesting. This is another news. XRP Ledger flips Solana in real-world asset tokenization, overtakes in value despite fewer holders. Big for real-world asset plays. So the XRP Ledger, if you guys remember, has some traction. You know, you can go to DEX Screener and you can look at the XRPL Ledger and kind of see what's happening here. You could go to click liquidity, kind of see what coins you can actually get on the XRP Ledger, and you can see they're all paired with XRP, not stable coins. So this is what's interesting. I think what honestly gave some of the XRP the pop is that we had a nice little surge into XRP DeFi, as well as the bullishness of a lot of the case news coming out being bullish. So some traction on XRP, and then we'll look at the price of XRP now, and we'll see if any of our targets or any of our things are still in play for XRP. So XRP hit that line. That was like the go time line. A lot of these coins had the go time line that we put. We said, look, XRP has a good chance of retesting this $1.35 line. You set a limit at $1.35, you could get a bounce on here, and that's what happened. So if you're looking at the daily, we basically had a consolidation down into this level. I said I marked it $1.33. This probably be one of those go time prices for XRP to pop. And now you can see on the daily, it's forming what could be a flag. If you look at it this way, and it could pop and just test right back into the $1.61 area where we just collapsed from. But we also have to take into account, hey, if 50K Bitcoin's coming around the corner, that means these alts are going to test that 200-week moving average again and test down into some of those levels. So then we have to look out for a possible XRP at $1.11. $11.11. So that's kind of the bearish scenario. And you can use this as even like what would happen with something maybe like Doge. Doge would be the same play. You know, this was the go timeline. It wicked down really fast. Now it's doing the same thing. It's potentially giving us a bull flag, and we could test up back to the 12 cents. So if currently you got in any positions in Doge at this potential bottom, then you could ride this trade back up to its previous resistance, which was 11 cents or at 12 cents. And these are also really good areas to dollar cost average as well. So this is what we are in currently. So we got in a Doge trade. We got in the entry at 8 cents. So if you're looking at Doge, we basically caught almost the exact bottom here, and we are riding the trade to the upside. So we did take some profits this morning. When we woke up, we saw the trades were up real high in profit. We went in and just took 25% off each one, off of Doge, off of Pepe. And I think did we do ETH too? No, we kept ETH. We probably should have taken some on ETH because ETH got hit real hard. And then Bitcoin also kind of got hit a little bit too. We could have probably taken a little bit of profits on that. But these we're trying to swing long, and we're building up the account on this particular trading account, and we've been doing pretty good so far. We got an 88% win rate, total realized profits over 100 so far over the past let's see, yeah, over the past couple days. Not too bad because we're using small amounts, so we've been very aggressive. And let's see, let's go to, and we're going to break down this platform, this particular platform, Fulcrum, in terms of trading on DeFi, because this, I've been really liking it. And you can see what traders are actually trading live. You can see live activity of the top traders, what their P&L is. And also there is 2 different tokens that are associated with this ecosystem in the platform: FLP, which is the staking, and then Fulcrum, the full token. When you have a certain amount of these, say you have 300 of them, you can then increase your leverage, and then you're just increasing the risk there. But also you're earning fees, and whenever you stake a certain amount or have a certain amount, you can get a referral code. And your referral code is going to give you your rebates and percentages of people's trades and things whenever they use your link. So once we get that set, we're actually going to buy some, and then we'll have that link to provide for you guys, so then you can trade and you can get some bonuses as well. But we've actually been really liking this. Not been too bad. We've been liking it. But right now, it looks like the market, it looks like Bitcoin and everything kind of taking a plunge right now. Are we going down? Yeah, I think oh my gosh. I was like, what? The alts are just looking like crap. They were looking good, and then Bitcoin and ETH started to, oh yeah, we're getting a nasty candle. We're getting a nasty candle to the downside. But you can see on the 45-minute, we do have a nice order block. And early this morning in the Telegram, if you're following the Telegram, let's see. Let me get up the Telegram. There we go. This is what was happening in the morning. You can see it was like Wyckoff right here. And then you can see right where the top resistance through line, it does the little dog ear, boop, boop, boom, boom. Man, you start seeing this pattern, you can really just, especially right there. It's like you see it 66.9. And then look at how much momentum gets popped off right there when it shows that pattern. It's like, I've been seeing this pattern like all over the place. It's crazy. So make sure you guys are following in the Telegram, because this is where we're posting in here all the time. And the link is in the description. So make sure you check it out. Very much appreciate it. Okay, so yeah, it's looking like woo. Okay, yeah, good that I took some profits here. Definitely was good to take some profits. Did we take 50? I think we took 50 off the rip. I thought I did 25, but yeah, we did 50. That was good because we could actually close both of these trades. We could actually close the Pepe trade and close the Doge trade and re-enter if we see some strength. We just have to see some see a bounce because look, I mean they could meaning the market makers are going to potentially bring us right back down into that range where most of the traders were. If you went long, you went long right here. You went long right here. And if I was a market that wanted to liquidate these, I'd probably do it. And so then it sends it back up and then we go to the upside. Or I would love to even send it down, see, look, that's my liquidation for this particular trade. They would even love to do that. So then that brings it right down into this last support level. And this is where we could give you basically the bearish case scenario, which is this price consolidating, bouncing off of there. It could continue to the upside, but then if it can't hold this level, which it was supported by before, it would then drop down to the next level, which would be then the liquidation right here. So you got two levels that we got two levels to watch here if we are going to continue to the downside with Bitcoin with this nasty candle, or if we will just, bounce here and then continue going up, then all of what I just said of getting those lower prices would not play out. We would just get a nice bounce here, continuation to the upside, and then that is also on the 45-minute. You can see another Wyckoff kind of accumulation here where they could just pump it right back up, dog ear it, boom, and then we get above 70. But we have to see strength here. Right here is where it could bounce. If it doesn't bounce, then we're looking for the next low here, which would be in the middle, 63,000 or 60,000. Alts get wrecked. So be prepared for that. All right, Steak and Shake. You guys know Steak and Shake. They've been Bitcoin pioneers. If you work for Steak and Shake, you can actually get your paycheck in Bitcoin if you request. You can pay in Bitcoin on the Lightning Network for your burger. They have a branded stamped Bitcoin burger. And now Steak and Shake is removing all microwaves from its restaurants. We expect every unit to be microwave free by April 15th. Quality restaurants don't need microwaves as a part of our journey to improve food quality and use traditional methods of cooking only. Eat real food. Let's go. And then In-N-Out Burger came in and said, In-N-Out was always microwave free. Listen, now I'm a little hungry. Yeah, all the Steak and Shake employees are just like, oh God, no. They're like, no. Oh, we better raise our pay. Now we got to do more work. It's ridiculous. Okay. We made a funny. This is a moment most men wouldn't ever forget is when they see their crypto portfolio go up 2%. Just 2% after being down literally 100% on our alt. I mean, we've been cooked bad, guys. So when the market gives you a little 2% pump, little bump after a 90%, it's like, woo! It's so good. Love it. And then which card back would you pick? Would you pick the Kronos? Would you pick the Bitcoin? Would you pick Ethereum, XRP, Dogecoin, Litecoin, Solana, USDC, Cardano, Monero? Which one? Which one you got? I'm picking Doge. Out of all those, if I had a choice, 100% picking Doge all day, baby. All right, so let's segue this into why you should be watching the BTC ratio charts for things like Doge and Pepe. You need to go to the daily. You need to go to, the daily or the weekly And this is where you're going to see the magic. You're going to see where this is where the whales, the Bitcoin whales, put their money when they want exposure to the meme super cycle or meme craziness. They go into Pepe, they go into Doge, they go into SHIB, they go into all these high liquidity tokens because they know they'll be able to cash out because they're putting in millions. They're putting in things that also the retail are they're not doing, because retail, they'll come in, they'll put in a couple hundred, couple 50. But yeah, these whales coming in with Bitcoin, they're going to put in like thousands of their Bitcoin. So what I see is this resurgence of Bitcoin whales going back into things like Dogecoin, back into things like ETH. They're going to pump that ETH with that ratio. If you look at the ratio, we go to the weekly, and we've showed you guys this before. So here is buy zone. We're in the buy zone, okay? Here's the buy zone. Buy, contra. And then look, sell. You want a Maserati? You better sell, bitch. You want a Maserati? You want to never work? You want to retire? You better sell right here. So whenever this ratio gets back up to here, this is where we're going to start paying ourselves, okay? Look, everyone thinks everything's done. Oh my gosh, it's burnt. Everything's toast. It's going to zero. It's going to 8K Bitcoin. All the while you're buying the fear. You are buying the fear. Because you've seen this before. You have seen it before. But now this time you have a lot more data, you got a lot more experience, and you've been chiseled. Now you're a GigaChat. You gave yourself an opportunity to mess up, which only builds stronger warriors in this space, my friends. Now, I'm going to be honest. I think with all that I've talked about today, I deserve more than one like. I mean, what kind of freaking world am I living in where with what I just showed you, I get one like? Wow. Holy moly. Dear Lord. Okay, thank the Jesus. I don't know what to tell you guys. Okay. Let's see if Bitcoin is going to Bitcoin's gonna do the thing. Let's see if it's gonna do the thing. Ooh. Yeah, baby. Okay. This is it. This is either go time or it's no time. There's a little wick. We got a doji candle forming. Was that the bounce spot? Oh my gosh. Yikes. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is it, guys. This is kind of the line in the sand here. We lose this level. We lose this level right here, this support, and it's probably gonna hit down to the 63 here real fast. It's gonna go boom. We gotta hold this level, guys. This is it. We gotta hold this one. But look at Look at where it's look at where it's bouncing though. I'm telling you, these order blocks, man. These order blocks. They're good. The order blocks will work. And order blocks, it's interesting. Like 45-minute is good, but then also I really like looking at the order blocks on the 4-hour. Like the 4-hour order blocks are good because you can kind of see where it was like heavy resistance, like up at the top here. And you can see where there was like heavy buying on this line, that 59 line. That's why we marked it here. We had it circled. We had it all marked. We were like, look, this is where we could potentially have that price just boom. And that's what it did. But then this is what a lot of traders are looking at this as a massive rollover. Called like this would be actually a classic dead cat bounce. Like if there would be anything of a dead cat bounce or what we could call a dead cat bounce here is right here. Cause you get like, here's the cat, it goes meow, and it bounces. It's like meow, meow, and then it goes down to 51. Look. So if this is a dead cat bounce, that is the dead cat bounce of all dead cat bounces because that's what it does. It goes and it just falls through the floor again. It goes, and so this would line up now because now when you go to the weekly, it basically lines up with all of this. So if that actually plays out, then that's what we're looking at here. It would just be a massive rollover, big massive rollover. But if we're looking at the 45-minute, there's some hope. There's a chance. You know, we could bounce from here. Look, it's happening right now. We could bounce from here. It's possible, and it looks like that's happening right now. It looks like we're doing it. Look at that. Woo, okay. All right. So, but that's got to hold with some strength, man. We got to have more. As I don't like how the MACD looks. It looks like sellers are not exhausted yet. Like they're ready to keep selling. They could keep selling. They could just keep selling. Just go bring it down, moment, and then clip it. We get a MACD cross here. Then we push, or they could get. I mean, look. So sometimes you could get exhausted quicker, and then we get a little wave. It trigger waves here. We get a flow, and then we get one of those, and we get more of a momentum trigger wave going up to the upside. Now, if you're looking at this as a long setup, you're looking at this as a long position setup right where that order block just hit, or at least around it. You want to set your target at these resistance, these, not the top of the wicks, but I'd say the bodies of the candle. You know, that's from that, and then you set your stop loss at you set your stop loss down. I mean, you could be really aggressive. You think the stop loss down here is 1%, 2%. So yeah, 1%, 2% stop loss. At 1%, 2% stop loss. That's actually a pretty good risk to reward ratio trade because now you're 2 to 8. You really want to be like 2 to 1, I guess, you know, where you're not being too crazy. But that's a good trade. So if you've got that bounce right there and you are able to set your take profit here, you got your 1% move that could happen on Bitcoin. So you're 10x leverage. So then that means you're down 10%, you're 10% to 15% stop loss. And then up at the top here, you're getting a 2 to 3% move. And if you're on a, 10x leverage, then you're getting your 30 to 40% of whatever you are risking. And it just depends on what margin you're using. So this could be a good trade. Could be a trade that plays out, but you can see how there's some resistance built up inside this trade. You need a little bit more. Looks like we're getting some confluence of this Wyckoff kind of playing out on the 45-minute, which could test it back up to this $69,000 level. Let's just see. Let's see what happens. It's looking pretty tasty though. It's not too bad. Not too bad though. We did take some profits. So we did take profits at quote the top. You know, right when we were at close to the top. You know, we sliced up some profits on there, so that's good. So now if we do get a little bit of consolidation down, we could re-enter. We could close the whole trade and try and get an entry right in here, right back into Pepe, or we hold, be patient, wait and see what happens where it could potentially hit into the liquidation level of Pepe right here. And there's two different zones. We got open position right here and liquidation open zone right here. So two different spots, 1, 2, and then you can ride that trade to the upside. Same thing. Use the same setup. For instance, just like this. Very similar setup. Same with Bitcoin. And then this is all based on Bitcoin's momentum also. So this is once Bitcoin starts going down, it's going to bring Pepe, it's going to bring all this stuff down. So you have to be watching Bitcoin and say, okay, if this is what's happening with Bitcoin, I can apply that to my other trades and just know that the volatility is volatile percentage risk up more when you're trading something like Pepe or Doge along with ETH and Bitcoin. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. All right, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you check out all the links in the description, and I'll see you on the next live stream. Peace.